Okay, so here we go. Our halo in the front, one length in the back. They stay within the family of technique. They're both one length shapes. The only deviation is through the back, it's a squared one length. Through the front, it's a halo, a curved one length. So I begin in the back by combing the hair to natural fall, having my guest stand up because this is the strongest way I can actually go in and control my shape. And when you're cutting your one length, you always have to ensure that you're actually combing the hair to natural fall, making sure that you're not, as you comb the hair over, direct the hair too forward, too far backwards, and make sure that all the hair that you comb is parallel to the teeth of your comb. Have your eyes directly in front of what you're cutting, and there's multiple ways you can approach cutting in this one length. Here I'm cutting using the teeth of my comb. I can also comb the hair onto her back and cut in my square line, or I can just comb the hair to natural fall and nail in my shape. But again, it's always smartest to have your guest stand up and make sure you're always paying super close attention to the actual angle of your scissors, the very front tip of your scissors, because that will determine the shape that you will actually cut. Stand in front of what you're cutting, so then you'll have your natural tendency to over direct the hair to your center of balance assist you. So make sure that you're actually moving throughout the haircut, and your eyes again are always at a level where you can see exactly every minute detail that you're actually achieving. Okay, now my final section, right at the crown, I'll use a little bit less tension just to compensate for that jumpiness that she has at the crown area. Right side, comb the hair to natural fall, and just nail that line. When you're technically cutting the hair when it's wet, you always want to get that line super clean, because at the end of the day, once the hair is dry, you still have to go back and refine that shape. So the less junk in that line, the better your overall aesthetic will be. Now, here I'd start with my disconnection through the front, and I'll begin cutting in my halo shape just by combing the hair to natural fall. I'll go back, same section, and I comb the hair onto the skin, and I'm just cleaning that line. I'm just dusting it. Excellence is always in the details, so make sure your eyes are exactly in front of what you're cutting. Again, comb the hair to natural fall. And when you begin the front, you have to, like, in your mind, have a clear end result, like to the extent of a curve that you intend to cut. And here, through the fringe area, I want it slightly longer than her eyes. Visually, it looks really strong. And next, curve section, it'll be the exact same technique. Stand in front of what I'm cutting so I can see absolutely everything. Work in small, manageable sections. So here I go in again with the hair at natural fall. And this is a really smart way to allow for the ear. Okay, and again, I'm following my guide through the front. I want the length to sit between the mid nose and her eye. So just take your time, go back and clean that line. And right here where the ear is, I like to go and leave a little bit more length because I can always go back and clean it up. So now combing the hair exactly to natural fall and just chipping in little by little. I work in small, manageable areas. I don't try and cut a gigantic curved line in one shot. I work in probably 1 inch areas and I progressively move forward. So this allows me for more attention. And once I hit the first inch, then all my focus is on the next. You really have to control your mind and your eye and have a super clear intention. By just cleaning up right in front of the ear. Okay, and now the exact same technique on the right side. So again, my shape's disconnected, a square one length in the back, and a curved halo through the front. So I comb the hair to natural fall. And again, remember I told you I just work in small, manageable pieces. Once the area that I'm working on is actually achieving what I want, then I'll move to the next area. Check for balance. Go back and refine that line. Just working with the very tips of my scissors, because details are in the tips of the scissors. If you're cutting a halo and you use too much of your scissor, you really won't get a curved line. You'll get more of a square line because your scissor is square. So the only way to achieve a curved aesthetic is to gradually adjust the tips of your scissor with each little snip. So again, just baby stepping that line. Coming up my next curved section. Again, I'm standing in front of what I'm cutting. My eyes are directly in front of what I'm working on. And again, I start working in little manageable areas. Now here, I don't want to break that section into like 2 or 3 pieces and then connect them, because I'll start building like a lot of weight. And I want this shape to flow. So I can go back and comb, clean, comb, clean, comb, clean, until you get it right. There's no rush about this. I'd rather spend more time when the hair is wet, because if there's a lot of errors, it's harder to check them off once the hair is dry. Okay, remember, baby step it. Just make sure your line is super clean. As a standard, as I'm cutting this line, I kind of make the line that I'm cutting compete to like the blade of my shear, because the blade of my shear is super clean, super straight. So I want the line that I'm actually cutting to mimic the perfectness of my shear. So here I'm just going back and I'm cutting the very mid front area just a little bit more curved, because it's falling a bit too square. I want a curved aesthetic. I don't want a square aesthetic. There's a big difference. Cutting curved is challenging. Cutting square, nah, it doesn't look as nice because it's pretty easy. So again here, just take your time. You need that symmetry and balance to both sides. If you're working on these lines and your eyes start to get kind of fuzzy, you get bug-eyed, take a look back, let your eyes rest for a bit, and then come back and clean it. Okay, so now we're starting our finish. Here I'm going to use a lot of tension just to get the hair nice and smooth. And I'll go in and I'll flat wrap the top, and then I'll leaf and bevel it. So just my intention is smooth, shiny hair. I want it to have a glass-like polish. I want the hair to look like a deep treatment advertisement. Still going in with my Denon brush, and I'm just like flat wrapping it, pushing the hair in lots of different directions, leafing, flat wrap, bevel, until you get the shine that you want, and don't go for too much root lift. Okay, so now I'm going to speed up the video for this blow dry process. Okay, so now we have it. The hair's, I like to blow it around, check out the movement. Now that the hair is dry, I'll go back and I'm going to start refining and polishing my shape. So I'll go in by texturizing first. I could go in and clean that line up first, but if I do that, I find that if I first clean the line and then I texturize, it changes the weight distribution through the top and it'll throw off my line. So I'd rather go in and do my refining 3-dimensionally and texturizing the shape, and then go and polish my outlines. Comb the hair to natural fall. I'm constantly making visual assessments here. And again, I'm working in shades. I'm working in the heaviness and densities of the hair. I'm going for symmetry and balance. Okay, and another key point you have to keep in mind, the amount of texture and the density and the distribution of the weight has to mimic the opposite side. So even though our lanes have to technically check in, so does the amount of graduation and the heaviness. So here you can use a mirror. It'll assist you greatly because it'll give you the entire perspective just by turning around and taking a peek. So again, now I go back and I'm cleaning out my outline shape. I'm just working with the tips of my shears, because details, again, they're only at the tips of your shears. And I keep on cleaning the shape in different directions, back and forth, forward and back, and I'll clean up the outline shape. I'll chip into the fringe area just a bit to make it fall a little bit softer. I can elevate and just polish it off, clean up my one length. Alright, and there we go. Enjoy your halo square.